Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are back with Billy G, not to be confused with Kenny G. Has that ever happened to you before? Billy Giannouloudis is here. He's a life coach, amazing life coach, and he's here with his own company. And he's got his shirt back on with his logo. I love it. Welcome back today. Billy G Life Coaching in the house.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being here. And I thank you guys for the time to be here. And yep, you're repping the logo today. So we'll take it and run with it.
Perfect. Well, it's always a good thing. So for those that may not know about your life coaching company, would you mind filling us in a little bit? Tell us some details about what you do specifically. And I know we got another great show ahead of us today.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, I'm Billy Giannouloudis. I'm with Billy G Life Coaching. I'm a life coach and motivational speaker out of the Boston, Massachusetts area. But thanks to, I'm going to say thanks to it, the switch to telehealth and everything, I'm helping people around the world at this point, and I'm loving every single second of it with helping people truly dive into the mind, the spirit, and the body, and helping people achieve their goals on all different levels, but to move forward in life and elevate to a whole new level. I love it.
And that's what you wanted to talk today, a little bit about spiritual support.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, Jill, last time we talked, a couple things were firing in my mind. Last week when we spoke, we went over this idea of miracles and how we can be the miracle to others. And then a couple of weeks ago when we talked as well, the idea of spiritual support came up with the topic of action steps of faith that we can take, where you're using your mind, your body, and then also asking for the spiritual support. But last week you said something that really stuck with me, and I wanted to bring it back to the fold. And we were laughing about a Disney movie, Encanto, that you watched with your kids, right?
Yeah.
And you said the quote yourself, if you believe, it's as simple as a Disney movie. Because they bring these ideas to us, they bring this hope to us, or this love to us in a way. And that idea of believe stuck with me so much. So with this topic I want to bring to you guys today was spiritual support. We're all going through something. Everyone's going through something we know nothing about, for that matter. And with the topic that I love bringing with the spiritual, some people have coined the phrase spiritual fitness now with how we do our coaching sessions. But if we're all going through something we know nothing about, but we're trying to walk it out. We're trying to stay strong for everyone. We're trying to stay strong and for our family, but there's always that extra that's there that we don't show the world, right? And so with the idea of asking for that spiritual support, I want to take you guys deep with how ready and available that is for us. So I'm going to give my own example here, where how I really came to this idea, and some people listening to this might not be the spiritual type, and that's completely okay. With Billy G Life Coaching, we help you on every step of the way. And if someone is open to the spirituality, it's always there to dive into, to take steps to. But in our past podcasts, we've talked about meditation. And another area of that is prayer, which is connecting to the spirit and everything. Mm-hmm. With how I got into that was the passing of my grandmother. And so I went through a period in my life where everything just kind of fell apart. Family stuff, relationship stuff on the personal level, work, everything just fell apart. And that's how I truly started to walk out where I knew I was meant to be, but walking through that struggle. And then something happened to me where, I was broken to my knees, and that's why I came to my faith and everything like that. But one day at the foot of my bed, I was saying a prayer, and I truthfully, as much as I was, asking God for help, I was praying for my grandmother to help me. She had passed on a couple weeks prior, and I got this complete chill across my face. And then that one thought opened up the door to me, and I started walking it out, where I knew that if I needed help, I could ask for it, and on a spiritual level, it was going to be there. And the deeper you go into that, you find that age-old, incredible, hopeful topic of angels and guardian angels and everything like that they put into movies now, that they put into TV shows, and it gives us this hope. I can't say and stress enough how real that actually is. And when we're struggling, it is just literally, you just ask for it. And as you said, Jill, if you believe it, it's there. That's where the faith comes into play. But I know I'm going off with a list, so I want to bring it back into the folds. Jill, have you ever come across someone who is struggling and just needs that extra, that spiritual? They might not be open to it, they might be open to it, but that spiritual side is there, and they're just looking and they're searching for so much.
Oh, I have a brother that's a little lost, and I think that would help him out greatly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so, there's so many different routes to it, but, we talk about meditation in the form of how it helps the mind. We talk about, a lot of people connect that to prayer and how it helps the spirit and whatnot. But with how I go about my coaching and everything, it's helping people see how all of that is so intertwined. And we've talked about on these podcasts before, the idea of manifestation and meditation, and how when you're meditating, you're allowing yourself to feel a peace. And I like to explain to people, you know, meditation brings you back to the present moment. And what happens in the present moment is you're allowing your body, your emotions to truly calm, but then to feel that what you seek, which could be love, could be joy, peace, whatever it is. But why bringing it back to the present moment is so key is because you find the presence in the present. And so when we can just stick in the present moment, not let our mind drift to the future or the past of what happened, and we're searching, meditation allows us to elevate our energy, our spiritual aspect to a higher level, which in turn allows us to connect to, I'm going to say it, loved ones that have passed on. I'm going to say it, the higher power, Holy Spirit. I'll keep going with the higher self.
Yeah.
All these different cultures of the world are teaching us this deep topic with meditation and prayer and everything under the sun. And when you really start to dive into these cultures, you see how everyone's saying the same thing. We have this gift within us to not just ask on physical level, but a spiritual level. And I had a client earlier today. She's out in Denver, Colorado. And there was a specific session where she was struggling. And she had, without going into full much of her story, she had lost her husband and everything like that. And she was grieving. She was dealing with this grieving process. And we got so deep into how close these loved ones actually are. Because when you pass on, and this lines up to a lot of things that Dr. Joe Dispenza, Gabby Bernstein, Michael Beckwith, even Tony Robbins at times says, where when you pass on, you're really, your spirit goes on to a different level. But with what I've learned with my grandparents passing away, with loved ones passing away, with reading and diving deep into so many areas, they're so close. And when you ask and you connect on that level, you start to get the answers. You start to see that chill comes through. I love working with people so much. I love speaking on stage so much, but there's specific times where I'm working with someone individually and I'll feel that chill come through me when I say something. And at that point, I knew it wasn't Billy that said it.
Yeah. And
you see the healing come through people. So, I keep going off on these rants, Jill, but I'll pass it back to you to stay on topic.
No, I'm very spiritual. I lost my mom. It'll be 5 years next week. My gosh. And she was 62, lung cancer. It's the hardest thing to get through. But the truth is, you get over it in a sense. And, there's no tears every day. Of course, there's still tears, there's memories, but you think about now the greater, and it makes you think about what's around you. And I believe she's around me. I feel her. There's things that happen. It's just so coincidental. So I have such faith, and I get such positivity and uplifted each and every day. But when I see something that reminds me of her, or I know that's her, and I know that signal happened or that happened, because it's just this, it's like, without knowing, but it's so there. And that's something I never really connected to or even thought about. But the physical being here, I thought was all it was. And now it's really the non-physical. And I believe they exist. They're around us. And there's a whole nother world that we're missing. Some of us don't believe, and I just don't know how they don't believe, but it's like so around me. So I could be happy talking about my mom, while she was dying. I could talk about it and be okay, because she exists, she's real, that energy is still there in a different form. And it just makes life more beautiful knowing that we're just part of this process, and we're going to go back in a circle and just, I'm very spiritual, and I get to talk a lot to a lot of spiritual mediums and, psychics and intuitives and empaths with the job I have. And it's just like, wow. So I really believe when I hear the things they say and the stuff they touch upon, there's no other reason than they just know. And so it gives me solace in knowing that there is an afterlife, and it just comforts me.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. And I love that. I love that example so much. I love that story so much, because that's how true it is. And, like you mentioned, the spiritual aspect, the faith aspect, the energy aspect, everything is, when you take a step back from everything that we're dealing with in the world and just try to see it from that level, one, you see how strong we are. You see how different this life actually is, but you see how much we can connect to that aspect. That's why last week when we talked about miracles and being the miracle that we bring as people and just reaching out a hand, that's such a spiritual moment. And if someone comes in a session with me or speaking on stage or something like that, and the idea of spirituality gets brought up, a lot of people are like, but if you can just break it down to what you just said, Jill, it's literally a love level. And
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to elevate ourselves to. We're trying to elevate ourselves to that next level, so we can connect, so we can see how supported we are, how we can see that truthfully, when the heart stops beating, that is not the end. That is literally a whole new beginning. And when we're going through these endeavors, to kind of bring it back to the listener right now, when we're going through these endeavors in life and we're pursuing business and we're pursuing love and we're pursuing family, whatever it is under the sun, if you can just be, again, coming back to the present moment aspect of be in the present moment, but try to see it from a higher vantage point, try to see it from a higher level on, if you need the help, ask. Say, I'll always stick with the prayer aspect. Say a prayer, and that's you asking. Think a thought, and that's you asking, when you actually dive into how connected your mind is to a spiritual level. That's why I teach the universal tool, because the mind is a tool we were given on a spiritual level. But if anyone is struggling right now, all you got to do is ask. Even if that's not you reaching out to someone else's help, but you reaching to the greater power's help, oh my goodness, when you ask, you receive. And that is the greatest spiritual support fact, I'll say right there.
Wow, it is. I believe in that. And I mean, I'm sure you come across those non-believers, right? Have you? And how do you handle them until they come back to you and say, "Oh, wow, you were right."
Right. I come across that all the time, and that's completely okay, because when I'm walking it out, everyone's on their own journey. Some people are here to learn that at a later date in life. Some people learn it right out the gate and they're able to walk with it. But everyone's journey has different trials and different tribulations and whatnot. But if someone comes to me and they're straight like, Bill, I don't believe in that stuff, that's happened numerous times, and that's completely okay. I get to, in my own right, I feel like I get to lead by example, where it's okay if someone doesn't believe. I'm still going to lead the way with the love aspect and like, hey, I'm here in your corner one way or the other. I will always be in your corner to help you with what we're going through. And everyone's like, okay, no, like they love it. That's incredible. But then when we get further in sessions, I think it's just who I am. I'll always say like these one-liners, and they're like, hey, well, what does that mean? And it could be a scripture, it could be whatever. I'm like, well, do you really want to know? Because you told me you didn't like this stuff. And so it becomes a fun little thing that I do with my clients that don't believe. But the more you're diving into self-improvement and personal development and self-growth, I believe that you do get to a level where your eyes start to open. And, as the scriptures say, the veil comes off your eyes, where you're able to see like, okay, there's more to me. There's more to me than just this physical aspect of me trying to achieve this goal or to get this money or to build this business. Like when you take that step back and see that your mind is such an incredible tool, your spirit's there, and there's power there, that there's more to you than just fingers and toes, we'll say. But non-believers, oh my goodness, that's a walk of life. And that's not to push anyone away. That's to open up the door, because, I'd like, at the end of the day, I could help someone, a non-believer could help someone else. We're still connected. That's the beauty of life. Yeah.
It is. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Great topic. And as a life coach, my gosh, you got to lift people up and give them that passion, that love, that inspiration in a sense. And, you have a natural innate way about you to do that, but maybe it does come from within. So grandma's watching down and guiding you, right?
Right.
How many signs do you get from her?
Oh my goodness. I can't even count all the signs that I get. But here's another thing of that spiritual support. When you ask for a sign, as you just said, you do get it when you're open to it. And something that sticks out to me is, truthfully, signs I get: animals, animals or birds, I should say, cardinals, blue jays, everything like that. There's been so many moments where I've been so broken and, trying and just, life takes its course. And I could even bring up examples for other members of my family. Blue jays are my thing. I don't know why. I think I did a meditation, a Gabby Bernstein meditation actually, where she helps you choose your spirit guide and what the guardian angels would come and help you with. I said, okay, all right. So this is in one of her books, but I forget which one it is. I think it's Super Attractor, and she helps you choose. And I sat there as, all right, something different, something I don't see every day. Blue Jays. That's going to be my thing. And literally, I'm not even joking. I could wake up one morning, or I could be eating lunch at the table and look out the window, and the backyard is filled with 10 to 15 blue jays just there. And when I notice more and more, this actually happens when we're on the calls, Jill. So there's a window, you see me, but there's a window right behind this computer right now. And I will hear the sound of a blue jay outside that window in every single one of our conversations. And so for people asking for spiritual support or signs right now on this topic and how powerful you are, if you ask for a sign, you get it. But when you're open to it, you hear it more. And I know that when I'm pursuing my goals, pursuing my endeavors, and I'm taking steps to achieving something more for myself, I hear that chirping. I see that out the window. And that's a clear-cut sign to me, one, that my support's here, but two, I'm on the right path. I think that's something that people question more and more today, where am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I on the right path in life? Did I make the right decisions? And we're all questioning so much that makes our minds run through anxiety and potentially fear or whatever it is. But when you come back to the present moment, as meditation and prayer, everything teach, you're able to see the signs, but to realize I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And then you take a step forward for yourself in whatever way that is for us to grow. And then the doors start opening for you. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of law of attraction, manifestation, the whole 9 yards. But when you take a step for yourself, you can be assured your support's there and you're into a whole nother chapter of your life.
Oh my gosh, so true. So I get the cardinals in my backyard. And I know that's my mom. And I always said that since my mom died, there's always cardinals. I have 2 big trees in my backyard. And ironically, just 3 weeks ago, my son thinks he's a penguin. He's 5. He loves penguins. So I said, we'll get one of those outdoor igloo things, right, for your birthday. And we'll have a little party in it with your friends. So we set it up the first night, left it out overnight. Well, guess what? In the morning, what was in there? A cardinal. I was like, I thought the door was shut. I'm like, I thought we zipped it up. But no, we got in. So it was like a miracle. Like we took a video of it. I was sending it to my sister. I was like, oh my gosh. Right? Yeah, I believe in signs and birds and yeah, all of that.
Incredible. And like cardinal, that I know when I see cardinals, that's my grandmother just as much. And so like as much as the blue jays I know are, I think they're guardian angels, my grandfather even, or anything like that. But I'll see cardinals just as much. I know it's a female aspect and I'll know it's my grandmother. But the signs that come, and like you said, like that's such a beautiful moment, you with your son, and you did that, and then you get a sign. It's like she's here. The love is still there. The love is powerful than ever, and that's something I learned. The more, this is going to be a different take for people. The more I had to go through the process of losing a loved one, the more I wanted to learn, the more I wanted to study and truly believe like that's not the end. If faith is a factor in people's lives, even if it's not a factor in people's lives, there's so much out there to help you see that there is a higher power. There's something else out here than just us. And the more I studied that when I lost a loved one, the more I realized like, okay, this is real. This is a whole new level. And if I ask for the support, it comes. And that's the beauty. It's like you become so much, it's gonna sound so different. You become so much stronger when you go through that chapter of passing away. Yeah, that's a very different statement, but it's so true. And I've learned that. And that's why when people come to me or coaching clients come to me or speaking for that matter, and people are asking questions of the grieving process, and how do you get through and how do you struggle or how do you overcome the struggle, I should say.
Wow.
When you can understand that you're grieving because someone passed on, which is completely normal and everything, but they're closer than ever, for one, more powerful than ever to help you, and two, they're up there happier than ever, joyful, because they're in the next chapter in life. That is meant to help the grieving process kind of wash away, because like they're closer. Yes, you can't see them, and I know a lot of us, we need the physical aspect wholeheartedly, But that's where faith comes into play, and believing, as you said, it's as easy as a Disney movie last week, right? It's like
Yeah.
watching that with the kids. If you believe, oh my God, it's there. And that's the faith comes into play. It's incredible.
Beautiful. Awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Billie G, how do we contact you?
Yep. So guys, you can find me at billieglifecoaching.com. You can set up a free call with me. We'll dive in. We'll set up some strategies for you. And then if you're open to it for moving forward with sessions, it's there. You can find me on Instagram at Billy Giannouloudis. You can find me on YouTube once a week with Billy G, and you'll see all the videos from the last 5 years at this point. So
What did you have on tap this week? Do you remember?
So this from on YouTube this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a special guest this week. I'm gonna give her a shout out, Becca Leary. She's a health and fitness coach, and she's helping people achieve their fitness goals and everything. And she's even as herself as a coach stepping into the mindset game to bring that to her clients. But luckily she was in the area, so it's not a Zoom one, guys. You see it straight up right there. It's incredible. But we got special guests, interviews. We've had baseball MLB players on there before, boxers. But we're trying to bring people inspiration. We're trying to bring people support in anything. Maybe it's a solo message from me. Maybe it's a message from someone else that's meant to help you, impact you, and get you to the next level.
And that's what we want to do. We want to get to the next level. So you work with men, women. What's your,
Yep. No, I work with everyone. I've been blessed to where I started working with young kids and as a mentor, therapeutic mentor, working with kids and families in the inner cities to help them. And that opened the door. So from that point, I got trained by Tony Robbins, who then helped me start helping people from all ages. And that's why I always come back to the turn of the journey. We're all on a journey in life. And I think I've said it before on one of our podcasts, Jill, you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. So when a client comes to me, and, I'm my age, but sometimes I get older clients and there's that little wall, right? Where it's like, oh, what could you know? And, but then we dive into sessions, we dive into the strategy calls that are free for people, and they can sit there and like, okay, this is what I need. So all ages, open to everyone. Where I've got a lot of clients, I'm in Boston. I got a lot of clients in Canada. Canada keeps coming through. So if people are listening to this in Canada somehow, you're open.
Do have a lot of Canadians, I would say, on the show as well. We do, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, great. And Billy G, what else in particular do you want to share? I know spirituality is our topic of the day. Anything else you want to touch upon? We still have time, so just want to make sure we're getting to everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm loving where we got speaking opportunities coming up. We got seminars coming together. I know I've mentioned you before, Jill, we've got a course coming together to truly help people. And it focuses more on the mindset piece. I find that a lot of people that's the opening point, where for a lot of people, for their personal growth, their self-improvement and personal development. But we're almost done with this course that people can sign up right online. They can dive right into it. And it's truly meant to teach you the universal tool, to teach you your personal power and how to use your mind the way we were always meant to. A lot of us look at our mind as a hindrance, and we try and overcome that. But when you realize it's your tool to create, and this is the spiritual part, you were created in the middle, the image of a creator.
Yeah.
You have a gift to create, hence how this podcast came about, hence how Billy G Life Coaching came out. We put effort into creating it. And when we take away the hindrance of the mind and we show you and teach you the steps to do that, the door is open. I keep coming back to that statement too, but the door is open. So we're putting that course together. Hopefully it's going to get released in a month. We're almost done with it. And then people can dive in, learn, and keep the process going for themselves with whatever, whether that's overcoming something, whether that's achieving something. The tools will help you step by step in that entire process.
Wow, beautifully said. And Billy G, currently, is it just yourself at Billy G Life Coach, or you have other coaches as well? What is everyone's specifications, or shall we say, what do you call them? Oh my gosh, I can't even think of the word I'm trying to say. Not specification, your
Skill set.
Yeah, skill set. But the other word I'm trying to think of, I can't get. But yes,
Yeah. So for Billy G Life Coaching, right now it is me. And so when you sign up for a session, you're getting Billy G. You're getting everything that we bring to the table. You're getting everything I was trained by Tony Robbins and his team of therapists for. So that's the beauty of working one-on-one with me. But with these seminars and the speaking opportunities we have coming up, where people can buy a ticket and literally just show up, you're going to get me. You're going to get other speakers. You're going to get other I'm going to say entrepreneurs, coaches, everything under the sun. We're trying to bring this entire collective together, where if someone is struggling with something, no matter what it is in the life aspect, you can show up and you're going to have someone there that can help you. And that was our goal. That was our dream, is to where if someone's struggling, reach out a hand in whatever way. And so at these seminars, you're gonna get other speakers, you're gonna get everything. But with coaching, you get Billy G, and we dive straight in, and I'm in your corner from that point onward.
Love it. And then like we can get text you in the middle of the night. We can call you in the middle of the night, wake you up.
Oh no, that happened
Not
this
that
past week.
invasive. Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah.
So you give your clients access. There's like an emergency to call you that late.
It's like, and it's okay if it happens. I tell my clients straight up, where when you sign on with Billy G, you get text support, you get call support. So if something goes wrong between one session and the next, I'm right there for you. And so this past week, there were a lot of different things popping up in our sessions. We're diving so deep to help people make the progress necessary and take the action steps. But in taking those action steps, you do get pushback, and you're trying to navigate it. So I'm always in someone's corner, but I always tell my clients, like, hey, as long as I'm not with another client or I'm not sleeping, I'm there for you. But, as soon as I shut the phone off or put the alarm on, we'll say, to wake up the next morning, if a text comes through, a call comes through, I'm there. So I'm in my bed on my phone or whatever talking, but the support's there. That's the beauty of I love helping people, because, I could be sleeping, I could be in the gym, I could be exhausted, but when someone needs that support, there's like a surge that goes through me where I'm there. I love it.
Great. Well, thank you for being here, for joining us. We want to reach you once again, BillyGLifeCoaching.com, and what other forums?
Yep. So BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can find me on Instagram at Billy Giannouloudis. You can find me on YouTube once a week with Billy G, and get as many motivational videos that you would need to help you make sure your week is everything you want it to be.
And what's up next for this upcoming week? When do you do them? What day?
So we film them Sunday morning. We post them Sunday afternoon.
Sorry.
And no worries. But so that's the beauty of once a week. Yeah. So every Sunday you're getting a message. You're getting a new one that pertains to something new. And sometimes I don't get those messages until it comes back to the spiritual thing to end this with. There could be a Sunday morning where I wake up and don't have a message in store, and I'll say a quick prayer.
Wow.
Like, what do you want me to say today to help people, to reach into someone's mind, to give them the love that they need, or the message they need to spark? And without fail, I will go to my keyboard and it will just start typing through me, everything, finish that up in about an hour, and then go film it, and it's posted, and it helps people. And it's incredible when you rely on that spiritual support to close out this topic. It's there. And it's cool.
Great. Well, it's a pleasure having you here again, Billy G. Enjoy your week. It goes so quick. I felt like I just talked to you the other day.
Right? Awesome.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Enjoy the rest of your week. It is Wednesday, right? So Happy hump day. Enjoy your day, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.